Washington, D.C. is one of the world's most beautiful capital cities. Hi, I'm John Ciccone, and I'm a licensed Washington tour guide. When Washington was conceived, it was the idea that it would become the capital of a new republic, one that was dedicated to liberty, democracy, and the pursuit of equal justice under law. At the heart of the city is the Capitol building, and beyond that, the mall with its museums and various monuments. What is not quite apparent, though, are the stories of our people, the stories of our follies and fiascos, as well as the stories of our dreams and our achievements. And I'd like to share those stories with you. What follows now is just a brief tour of some of the things I'd like to show you as we tour the city. The Capitol building represents the legislative branch of government and the voice of the people. It comprises the House of Representatives and the Senate. Magnificent in its grandeur, few people know that much of it was built by the labor of slaves. Ironically, it was a slave who played a key role in casting the Statue of Freedom that stands atop the dome. Across the street is the Jefferson Building of the Library of Congress, with more than 160 million items. It's the largest collection of knowledge in the world and one of the most beautifully decorated buildings in the city. The original Library of Congress was burned by the British in 1814. When this building was completed in 1897, it was a statement that America had arrived as an equal among the nations of the world. As we go down the mall, we come to one of the newest Smithsonian museums, the National Museum of the American Indian, with its dramatic architecture reminiscent of southwestern pueblos, rivers, and the natural environment. Interestingly, much of its collection is not labeled, thus leaving interpretation open and giving you the ability to construct a meaning for individual artifacts and muse on how Indians see themselves in contemporary society. The Air and Space Museum. This is one of the world's most popular museums, and there's little wonder why. Here, the history of flight unfolds before your eyes, allowing you to relive the adventure of flight from the Wright brothers to the Spirit of St. Louis and the X-15 to the Lunar Excursion Module. The World War II Memorial capitalizes on the use of fountains to add to its emotional impact and its tribute to that greatest of generations. A grand pool with water jets is surrounded by 56 pillars, each of which is named for a state or a territory of the U.S. at the time of the war. Virtually every memorial in Washington has its controversies, and there were those who complained that the memorial would take up open space that blocked a clear view between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial. So worried that World War II veterans would die before the memorial could be built, Congress passed legislation exempting the memorial from further review and dismissing pending legal challenges to it. The wall of the Vietnam Memorial bears the names of 58,272 of those who served and did not return. When you look at the wall, you see your own reflection, simultaneously with the names of the dead and missing. This is meant symbolically to bring the past and the present together. The era of the war was marked by great social unrest in America. As the war was divisive, its memorial would have its own controversies. The wall's design created negative reactions among many people, so a compromise was reached with the commissioning and placement of a more traditional three soldiers statue. Purposefully depicting white, black, and Hispanic figures, they interact with the wall by gazing upon it and the names of their fallen comrades. The Women's Memorial depicts three nurses with a wounded soldier. The woman looking up represents hope. The woman praying represents faith. The most emotionally powerful part of the sculpture, though, is the woman tending to a wounded soldier, Representing charity, this part of the sculpture closely resembles Michelangelo's Pietà. The most dominating memorial on the mall is that dedicated to Abraham Lincoln, the man who guided our country through the agony of the Civil War and ended the scourge of slavery on American soil. Lincoln's statue is calm and austere, yet for many visitors, when they read his Gettysburg Address or his second inaugural, carved into the inner walls of the memorial, they experience feelings of pride and patriotism. The Martin Luther King Memorial is the newest monument on the mall and one of the most emotionally stirring. The centerpiece of the memorial is based on a line from King's I Have a Dream speech, "Out of a mountain of despair, a stone of hope." A 30-foot-high relief of King, named the Stone of Hope, stands past two other pieces of granite that symbolize the Mountain of Despair. Visitors literally pass through the Mountain of Despair on their way to the Stone of Hope, symbolically moving through the struggle as Dr. King did during his life. Washington, D.C. is more than just monuments and museums. It also has great dining, great entertainment, and great shopping. So the next time you're planning a trip to Washington, give me a call, and we can plan a tour around your special interests.